The next step is to start shaping the handle. What we will do first is just drill a hole with our Forstner bit to gain that curve on the inside of our handle. Okay, we're going to use the pedestal drill. Make sure you have a wasteboard here so that we don't drill into the table, and also make sure that you have this F-clamp here, and we're going to secure our work. So firstly, just line up the center of the Forstner bit with the center of your hole. Get that in place and then clamp that down. And secure that firmly to the table there. Before we go any further, just check once again that that's in place. Okay. When you're boring your hole, just nice and slowly, go down a couple of mil at a time and then release the Forstner bit. And as we keep going. I'm using the 38mm Forstner bit here to do this hole. Just about through. Okay, once we break through, stop. Brush that away. You can see now we have on the inside of our handle that nice curve there. We're going to do the same to this opposite side as well. So once again, line that up. Clamp your handle in place, just double check, making sure you've got it in the right spot. I'm happy with that, and let's repeat this process here. You can see here now on the inside of the handle, I've got those two curves there, those internal curves. The next part of the shaping process is to begin cutting out using the coping saw. A couple of things, just make sure before you use the coping saw, make sure you set it up correctly. You must have the correct tension on the blade. Okay, if there is not enough tension on that blade, it becomes very loose and the blade does tend to snap very easily. Also, if you have too much tension, so if you tighten that up too much, you are also putting the blade at risk of snapping. So just make sure that you have it nice and firmly tight, but obviously not over tight, so we can just feel a little bit of flex in that blade. The teeth direction, that's quite an important thing. You need to make sure that the teeth are facing towards the handle, so the main cut happens when you're pulling back. Very important to make sure that your work is secured in the vise properly, and we also want to make sure that when we cut, as best possible, cut in the down direction. So that's how I'm going to place this in the vise. So just place this, so you should have it marked out on both sides so you can see, you can flip it over. Okay, we're just going to place that in the vise like that, and I'm going to start off by doing this cut here. You need to be a little bit on the waist side of the line here. Okay, it is very easy to run off course. That's what these saws are designed to do. They're designed to change direction very quickly. That can work against you when you're trying to cut a nice straight line. So just be very careful. Take your time and keep your eye and stay well and truly on the waist side of the line. I'm going to stop just short of that line there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start by running our blade around and cutting this part of our handle out. So you can see I've got it a little bit on an angle here. And let's pick our spot. Start cutting now. So just keep an eye on what you're doing. So you don't want to cut into your actual handle. We can always file excess material off. I'll move that up in the vise. Okay, and that should just come out easily. You can see here in the light there that my cut line is well and truly on the waist side. We will file that to the line when we get to that stage. Let's cut this side out as well. Exact same process. So I'm on the waist side of my line. Okay, and again, I'm going to swap it around this way because I like to have the waist on the right-hand side. When we get close, don't want to cut into our bench, so just move that up a fraction as we work our way around that curve there. And that should just come off like that. So we've done the outside curves. The next thing is we're going to start to cut the underside. So place this in the vise like so, and lining up here. So cut that one nicely. Now we're going to have to follow this around. So just place that in the vise like so. Once you feel you're getting close to the bench or your vise, we don't want to cut into it. Let's just move that up. Okay. Okay, and finally, okay. That just comes off, and let's cut this last bit here nicely. So you should have a rough outline of your handle. From here, we will start to file that to the shape that we want. The next step is to shape or start to file these curves in our handle. Okay, and what you're going to use to do that are a series of different files. The first file we have here is the bastard file, and you'll be able to see the teeth on that file are quite coarse. So that file is going to take off a lot of timber. It's going to get us to the line really, really quickly. It leaves a lot of scratch marks after it. So then we go to the next file, which is a little bit finer. The teeth, this is the second cut file, and that starts to take away some of those big scratch marks left from that bastard file. We finally use, to get it all nice and smooth, we use the hand smooth file. So if you can see those teeth, they're a lot finer, and that's going to really give us a nice edge there, a nice clean finish. We also have here the half round file. So you'll see the half round file has a flat side, but it also has a rounded side. Okay, that will help us with the inside edge of that handle there, with that part of the profile there. And also we have our file card. That's used to clean out the teeth of our files. So you will get build up in the teeth. It's really important to keep them clean to get the maximum performance out of those files. Okay. When you do clamp this in the vise, be very careful because of the shape, okay, and the way and the structure of the timber. It will want to break through the base of the handle through this part, just because of simply the way that the timber is and the grain is structured. So when you do clamp this, make sure you clamp it diagonally. that way and going through the handle's base, and we're not going to break anything there. Okay, let's start by shaping this. So when we file, this is going to take quite a while, so just be patient. Once you've filed your handle to a decent shape that it's supposed to look like, getting nice and close to those lines, making sure it's symmetrical on both sides, just test that to see that the base of your handle or the feet of your handle fit into the mortises. You want to have no gaps if possible, or the smallest amount of gaps. So I can see it does fit in this side, however, I have to file a little bit on the inside in here. So that's what I'm going to do. Just pop that in the vise quickly, and we'll do a quick file of that. And we'll just file a little bit at a time, and then we'll stop and check. I am very close, however, it's quite tight. I want it to be a nice, I do want it to be a firm fit there. Okay, so that does fit in now nicely. A couple of other things we need to do is sand and arris. So you'll notice you have a sharp edge all the way around. We need to sand and arris on that, and we will also mark out our curve on the feet there. To mark out the curve on my feet, I'm just using an M12 washer. So I'm just going to place that on the edge like so, and with a nice sharp pencil we'll trace that curve there, and that will look like that. So we'll do the same to both sides. And I'll flip this over and do the same on the opposite side as well. From here, we will file those corners the same way that we did the rest of that shape.